let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great day. Good. Jesus Christ, get your shit together, believes. There's a lot going on in this market. Let's talk about it right now. Let's just break this down and get into it. By the way, we got a little bit of a new setup here. What's going on right now? So I don't know. I haven't looked at the market in a few minutes. When I started getting ready for the show today, I was looking at this. This is Fiat Leak. This is where we kind of track how money is flowing in through crypto and stuff like that. A few minutes ago, this was just a trickle. Like, this was just something that was out there. It was, let me get this. I got this thing wrong. Duh. But right up here, you can see, like, this thing was kind of flowing very, very slow. And this number over here on that side over there that says 6 million right now was at less than 2 million. So I got a sense that when we look at the market is actually blowing up all of a sudden. Now, by the way, when I say that, I'm not looking yet, but it also could be way down, okay? With this much money flowing, it doesn't always mean people are buying. So there is a possibility that what we're witnessing is a collapse in the market. But again, it was $2 million being traded a minute for a little while. It was under 2 million, and now all of a sudden it was up at 7 million as the intro was playing, and now it's at 4.5. So I think there's some movement happening. We'll check the charts in just a moment, but for right now, let's get back into our normal mode over here. As you can see, for me, it looks like it's down. So on the day, we're down, moved down another 4.6%, near down 10%. There's nothing out here that's setting the world on fire. Hype up 4.3%. That's the best that we've got for today. In the top 200, you've got gas at 27%. If you bought that, by the way, what the fuck is gas, by the way? You know what? I'm not going to look. I'm going to look, but I'm not going to look. I'm looking. I'm going to look. Mask up 17%, XRD up 10%. But generally speaking, we're just having kind of a little bit more colossal collapse. RFC is up 71%. Ardor's up 52%. Alchemy's up 40%. So we've got some things that are starting to see a move here. Nothing major. Devi down 16.6%. Guys, I don't know what to tell you about Devi other than look, I'm still holding on to my bag. I'm not touching my bag. I know what's coming. Just unfortunately, what we were hoping for, what we were fingers crossed about, wasn't even close to happening. So, I mean, ultimately, what I think is going to happen is that, the announcement will come when we least expect it. They'll get ready. We'll see it. We'll start. Matter of fact, you'll start to see some crazy capital inflow on the project anyway, just because of the partnership that we've already talked about with Delubac in Paris, which is one of the largest banks in Paris and one of the more crypto-friendly banks. So I get the sense or the feeling that there's going to be a big something coming very, very soon. But the market's going to have to move in the right direction. Now, what we see from this right here, RFC and Ardor and Alchemy, that the money is in the market. So when you have the right announcement and you have the right stuff going in place and you have the right partnership lined up and you make the right announcement, then guess what? It can pump super hard. So again, 70% in 24 hours on one project. Dora's up 24%. Demo's up 20%. So the money is here for a big move. It's just a matter of getting that right announcement. And no offense to Team Devi, but from a crypto standpoint, Delubach is not the move. You know what I mean? That's not going to be the announcement that's going to move the needle. But here's the thing. This is probably the most important announcement that they've had so far. And the reason for that is because this allows them to have an on-road for traditional finance. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Strong statement from our partner, Delubach. It says, Paul Bureau and Ray Quintana exclusively unveil a strategic partnership that combines Dev Digital's breakthrough technology platform, Dev Exchange, with Delubach's regulated banking infrastructure to create a new model of crypto without chaos. This integration solution offers institutions the safety, regulatory compliance, and control they require while delivering the speed, innovation, and access to yield opportunities inherent to DeFi. It offers a non-custodial exchange platform with instant settlement, theft protection, private key loss protection, and privacy preserving mechanisms that remain fully compliant with regulatory requirements. And what this does is, look, basically you're recreating the centralized exchange the way it should be, where you don't get robbed, you don't get scammed, you don't get screwed over by all of these people. I mean, that's really what you're looking for. So hopefully this is going to be the start of something just brilliant. As adoption continues, you should have yourself a bag of Devi. Again, I'm not saying that we're doing well. As you can see, it's 65.97. It's not, it's not back down here in those 10, 12 cent levels. They're just kind of catastrophic. And it is bouncing off of that support. It's been touching that support, by the way. That should mean that there's downward momentum. But here's the thing. With only 400,000 in liquidity, in the next couple of days, as investors start to see, and by the way, there is one technical problem that I'm going to give you in just a moment with Devi, and it's a serious one, but I think it's going to be fixed very, very, very quickly because of the nature of what's going on. And by the way, I lightened up and made the screen a little more bright and vibrant. I hope that looks good for everybody. I'm just working on some new things. And again, I've got the new layout over here as well. So, but what I think is, I think that new institutional money, investment money, traditional finance money is going to find its way into DevE. And we don't even understand that yet. And the reason that we don't understand it is because you have to get into Uniswap really to buy DevE easily. When you look at where DevE is traded, then that becomes a little more complicated because if you're a major corporation, and you want to invest, what are you going to do? MEXC, Gate.io? I mean, maybe those are fairly decent sized, right? But there's not enough options out here for this. So I think that I would get the sense that you're probably going to see, yeah, I'm dealing with something here. Like I can't seem to get I can't seem to get the stream right. Like I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, but I can't seem to get this goddamn thing to work the way that I need it. So I'm gonna have to have a professional come in here and fix it. But my point is, there should be another listing coming very, very soon, because it is complicated to onboard at this point. They need one more exchange, I think, or maybe Gate.io is enough. You know what I mean? Like maybe Gate.io, maybe MEXC, maybe that's enough. Their volume is $1 million. Some other institutions, centralized exchanges, should want to get in on it if it gets a little bit more volume. They should be wanting to do that. Matter of fact, we should probably be pushing Binance to do a listing because Binance, you can now vote on it, shit like that. So there's a real possibility there for some sort of listing that maybe we could get, but that's not my lane. Hoping that we get some kind of move coming up very, very soon. In the meantime, we still have to deal with the fact that we're down a little bit. TARS AI has collapsed. I mean, by the way, everything has collapsed. We're going to look at this. This is for the month. Let's go back here and let's start back here. This is what's happened over the last 30 days. Fart coins up 164%, Pendle up 48%, EOS up 36%. But the big ones, the ones that move the needle, that's going to be like BNB. BNB for the month is up 1.4%. That's not bad. But Trump down 30%, Move down 40%, Solana down 12.5%. Not looking good. Where's Ethereum? Ethereum should be a big loss, 27%. The losses that we're getting here, you know what I mean? Wasn't Devi where you buy Devi? Yes, it is. Ultimately, that's what it's going to be. But people who want to front run, they want to put liquidity in. And here's the thing: they want it to be easy. They don't want it to be complicated and difficult. So again, I do think that they need to expand their listings for a little bit more. But moving on here into the month, Saros up 552%. So congratulations if you had that. Venom up 104%. Congratulations if you had that one. Fun up 323% in a month. BGSC up 347%. Like, again, there's runners out here. There's things that if you bought the bottom and you bought at the right time, then, Tut 3,200%. So you got a nice little 32x off of Tut. You got 100% gain in Dog in Me. Lucy, you got 258%. So, I mean, again, there are some things that have moved. We haven't seen that, other than Tut, we haven't seen a real breakout. But, listen, there's some opportunities here. Hopefully something good is going to happen because of it. Now, as far as a liquidity chart, like, I want to say that we need a pump, but at this point, I don't know. So what ended up happening was the tariffs are now, the Trump administration has announced tariffs totaling 104% on China. China has now retaliated and has slapped a retaliatory tariff on the United States, and it's 84%. So that's it's a pretty big number. Okay. Wall Street mixed at open as China strikes back with an 84% tariff. So we'll see whether or not this ends up being prohibitive or not. But it should be noted that this is probably this is a full blown trade war. Okay. Peter Navarro is all for it. Elon Musk is calling Peter Navarro a moron and saying that he disagrees and he doesn't think that this is going to work and that Trump should remove the tariffs. So as you can see already, what I told you was going to happen in the beginning, ta-da, nailed it. Trump and Elon are now at odds, and they will continue to be at odds further because Elon Musk is, Elon Musk is a pandering little crybaby who's mad because his son became his daughter. So he abandoned his child and it broke him internally. And now instead of being a man, he's focused on what's that stupid comment that you say if you're like a trans activist? Oh, pwn the libs. Ha 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 ha. Well, you pwned everybody. And you also got tariffs everywhere. And by the way, this is messing up Elon's business model drastically. So he is lashing out right now and showing you who he really is. So congratulations, you guys, and shout out to Elon for finally waking up and understanding that not everything on one side is the right way. Not everything on the other side is the right way. Somewhere in the middle is where we really actually oughta, maybe kind of should be. However, I'm going to disagree with Elon in this one and say, fundamentally speaking, it's actually a pretty good idea for us to have these tariffs, and I'm going to stand by that. I'm not going to, it's not the hill I'm going to die on, but, I do think that it's actually very, very interesting. Now, as far as the liquidity levels, again, we're just going to go to the 2-week and kind of look at it, and I'll give you kind of an estimate here. And you can see really this cooled down dramatically. There were some real hot spots before. It seems to have cooled down dramatically. And, I think the next big impulse, 85,200. So we'll see whether or not we get there or not. But the big news, Trump sold on you. Turns out that the big seller that's dumping the price of Ethereum is probably Eric Trump, because World Liberty Financial has sold $8 million in Ethereum amid their mounting losses. So According to data shared on X by Look On Chain, on April 9, a wallet linked to World Liberty Financial reportedly sold 5,471 Ethereum for around $8 million at a price of $1,465 per coin. The sale represents a major loss. WLFI had previously spent around $210 million to acquire 67,498 ETH at an average price of 3,259. And when did that happen? Oh, right at the time that Eric Trump told you now is a great time to buy ETH. And what ended up happening? It dumped colossally. At current prices, the firm is sitting on an unrealized loss of $125 million. And they blinked. And here's the bad part. Bad part is I understand what they're doing. They had to pay bills, most likely. You know what I mean? Like you can't fund a business without money. So they probably had to sell a little bit to pay bills. And unfortunately, they had to sell way more than what they thought. And I do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I do the same thing. I could have cashed out all my Solana 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Like 2 months ago. So and what I do is I basically just sell when I need. I don't just stable everything. You know what I mean? Just I'm a hodler. I'm a hodling. So if I need cash or something like that, then I'll sell, a bag of Solana or something like that. But despite the losses, the company has been actively expanding its product lineup. On March 25th, they confirmed the launch of USD1, a stablecoin backed one-to-one by cash, short-term U.S. treasuries, and equivalents. The token is currently live on Ethereum and BNB chain with more networks to come soon. So they're making moves. They're doing stuff. But so far, World Liberty Financial taking a heavy loss. Shout out to Donald Trump and the Trump dump. It's a real thing. Research, over 60% of Trump meme coins are now dead. Most of them have crashed. And when you look around at them and you take out just the Trump meme coin, the official meme coin that he launched, everything else is dead. And by the way, I don't think that has anything to do with Donald Trump. That's just Politify, number one. And number two, it's that retail got wrecked. I mean, look, I've been talking about Ghost for a while, Ghostface Killer, and I mean, I think it's dead. He keeps talking about like it's going to revive and blah, 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 but every dev says that shit. You know what I mean? This thing is flatline. You know what I mean? Like they got in early. There's more liquidity than there is market cap at this point. This is an unmitigated disaster. Okay, it's an unmitigated disaster. Will it recover? I mean, probably get a pump. It'll probably get a pump because everybody wants to be associated with Tony Stark's, shit like that. But really, realistically, that was everybody got wrecked. Everybody who touched this got exactly what I told them was coming. Okay, I'll just say that everybody got exactly what I said was going to come. And then, by the way, there was another one. It was called Real, and it was Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was trying to raise $5 million on his own meme coin, raised like 300,000, and ended up sending the money back. They're not going to launch the coin. There's no money left in risk-based assets. Okay, here's what's going on. All of the normies got Hawk-Tua'd. They've got Conor McGregor. They got Ghostface Killed. They got daddied. They got mommied. They got wrecked because celebrity meme coins. Everything here stole the liquidity out of your market. Venture capitalists came in, they pumped your bags. You didn't sell at the top, so they did, and now you're stuck holding. That's really what's going on. So hopefully we'll get a reversal of it. It'll take some moves. Again, Solana pumps 200%, back up to about $300. Then Ghostface Killer will likely, go up double, triple, something like that. Maybe we'll even get some motivation behind it and then just, start sending. So, but until then, that shit is dead. So Trump meme coins right now are dead. Top analysts that predicted the 2021 Bitcoin collapse hints that Bitcoin could reach 200,000 in 2025. So, Dave the Wave, who predicted the biggest crypto, he's the one that predicted the crash last year. You know what I mean? Believes I bought Connor's coin because you're an MMA fan. It's just not going to launch. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to launch. They gave matter of fact, you should have your money back. They sent the money back. CC and Pump It are safe plays. I would like to think that. I would like to think that is the case as well. I think, again, Pump It, I'm not talking about pump it yet because they've got something. I think they're rebranding or something. And by the way, I did have a long conversation with the dev team, and one of the things that they were annoyed by is, look, people like me. Let me tell you something. Let me give you how this works. Okay, I don't consider myself an influencer, if you will. I consider myself to be an entertainer. Okay, I'm going to give you hyperbole. I'm going to give you opportunity. I'm going to give you projects that come to me. But after those projects, it's on you to do your own research and figure it out. Now, just me talking about it is not a reason for you to buy. Devi is my conviction play. I will tell you that. Okay. I will tell you that. Devi is my conviction play. SWP, even though I don't talk about it, SWP is one of my bigger holdings as well. But I just because I'm not talking about it doesn't mean that I'm not a holder and that I'm not a big supporter of what they're doing. So and CC, same thing. I'm one of the biggest liquidity providers for CC coins. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there, but I would expect you to do your own research and not buy because I say. I would expect you to notice it because I talk about it, and then I would expect you to go in and do your own research. Run a bubble map, see if you like the lay of the distribution of the wallets. Do a rug checker, make sure that it cannot be rugged, make sure that the liquidity is locked, make sure all the pieces are in place. Go look at the dev as much as you can and look to see whether or not they're holding, what they're doing with their tokens, how many really big weird bags they have out there. Like, for example, I gave you a couple days ago, I told you what was going to happen with Ghostface Killa because everybody had massive bags, these early people. And by the way, he launched and I caught it like 4 minutes after he launched, and I saw it right away, and I started talking shit that moment. I mean, that moment, because that's the exact distribution that says you're about to get wrecked. Okay, that is the exact distribution. So I know that's going to happen. I look at that and I see that's going to happen, and I say that to you, but I don't always catch them. Sometimes somebody's going to come to me, like, for example, when it comes to meme coins, and I'm going to give you an example. And by the way, this is not a bad example. It's not a bad example, but it is an example. And it is this one right here. Speedy. Look at Speedy. Speedy has a $1 million market cap, has liquidity of 113,000. For all intent and purposes, it looks like a goddamn flat line. Just like SHIB, just like all these other meme coins look like. It's a goddamn flat line. And when you come over here and look at the market cap previously, this thing had run up to 46 million market cap. It's 46x away from its all-time high. Okay, that's bonkers, right? And when you look at the pairing with USD, like, there's no change, by the way. If we flip that over, see, there's no change. There's maybe some positivity if you look at it, but generally speaking, it's, like this, for all intent and purposes, is just absolutely wrecked. Here's the problem. Problem is Ethereum was dragging everything down the entire time, and a lot of that collapse came because of people getting nervous about Ethereum and wrecking and blah, 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 blah. You got to look at these things, right? And here's the thing. I brought this to you, and I told you that I think that this would go to 100 million market cap. And had Donald Trump not crashed the markets with the tariff war, and by the way, I have nobody else to blame. So if you're one of those cuck people, then that's on you, boo. But I said that this could probably happen right here. Like, we could have this kind of move here, and then boom, it just rips up here and doubles and goes to 100 million market cap. And guess what? Still could. But right now, for all intent and purposes, dead. All these things, the point is, there are a lot of cryptos out here that are suffering big time. They're not dead. They're just dormant for the moment because retail has been sucked dry. Let's just say it that way. So anyway, let's move on here. XRP Ripple addresses hit a new all-time high after the successful US ETF launch. Now, the successful investors are keeping close track of the XRP news, especially with a flurry of developments happening currently, besides the latest update on the XRP lawsuit, which we should see some kind of resolution at some point, completely in the clear, done. Adding to the bullish sentiment, Martinez also revealed that XRP futures trading volume has surged. It reached 21.62 billion across all exchanges. So we're starting to see a big amount of XRP being traded. Guys, here's what I think is really happening, okay? I think that the markets are preparing for that parabolic sort of run. I think that the markets are primed right now for just a massive move. And again, I'm going to show you on charts in just a moment. Dogecoin price unlikely to rebound as transaction count plummets 94%. This is dumb. It's not true. It is true that transaction count has plummeted, but it's not true that it could collapse. Okay. Can it go down? Sure. Will it go back up? Also sure. Also, Pepe coin whales offload over 1 trillion Pepe. Same thing is happening for all meme coins. Venture capital firms, people that got in early. Look, it's time to take your profit. It's time to take your profit. So, you know what I mean? Let's do rug checker. Rug check XYZ. Then you have rugchecker.com. And then you have rug check on the PooCoin charts. There are plenty of different places that you can go. There's a deck screener rug checker also available if you want to use your phone on the Chrome web store. Plenty of different places for you to go. And basically, all you got to do for anybody who wants to know, they're over here. See where it says Speedy right there? You click on copy address, and then you go to rugcheck.xyz, and then you just pop in token address and check. Oh, it's under maintenance, so we're going to pick a different one. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do that one. There we go. All right. So, oh wait, did I not put that in right? Duh, dummy. Oh, manual wallet address. There you go. I don't like this one. I can tell you that now. Let's try that one more time. Honeypot checker, quill check. Let's see what this one looks like. There we got. So we got Speedy, and we see the risk rating over here. Overall score is 63.64. We know it's not a honeypot. This is nice to have, great to have. Critical. There's some checks here that you'll have to get into and kind of figure out. But if you get a risk rating like this, then that's fairly high. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for something over 60 on most of these platforms anyway. So quilai.network. And it will give you a rug checker. So if you're interested, and by the way, you can get the API key, or you can connect your wallet, and it will check all of the stuff in your wallet for you. So good opportunity for that. Now, New York Assembly member suggests tapping blockchain for uncensored truth in elections. Will that come to pass? I don't know if it will or will not, but that is a pretty good, that's a pretty good idea. I think a lot of us really want to see all the votes and stuff on the blockchain. Here's the problem. Problem is that it's not going to happen because that would fix a lot of fraud in voting, and both Republicans and Democrats rely on they don't rely on honesty in voting. They rely on the ability to manipulate you into thinking the election was stolen. They've been doing it for years, going back to 2000 when Al Gore and George Bush went through it. You know what I mean? So driving just outside Chicago at the moment. What is going on, my man? If you want to go work out, man, hit me up. Heading to do that after this. Fear and greed index is down to 18. Let's start talking about charts. And for that, we have our chart set up. Now, this is looking, it's up 36 billion. So we were down about 10 billion when I got up this morning. And I told you guys that the flow in the market was positive, that it looked like something was happening, and it looks like something is happening. We're up 36 billion. Now, that's not a recovery, by the way. We should recognize that that is not no. So here's what I think here's what I want to look at. Okay. I came up with this idea that, this is looking like, if I can just kind of match this stuff up just a little bit, I'm going to give you an idea of where I think we really, really are. So if you just stick with me for a moment, right here to here. That's the top. That's the top of this. Then what happens is we go right here to right here. Now that ends up taking, it looks like, just a lot longer, right? So what happens is, in my opinion, this kind of downward momentum right there, we got that made sense. That right there made sense. This right here made sense right here. Then we got this right here, and that's kind of that move right there or something like that. Now, if we look at it from that context and we come over here, then we're saying that this bump right here is this right here. And then everything since then has just been all of this stuff happening down here. But here's the problem. Problem is, if we recognize that and we say that that is the case, then guess what? Everything looks like suddenly it's been drawn out much longer, which means that we've gone from 30 days probably to 120 days in capital inflow into the market. That's all that means, by the way. And I'm looking at it from a Solana perspective, so it's a lot tougher. If you look at it from a Bitcoin perspective, it gets a lot simpler, and you can kind of look at it and it makes a whole lot more sense, because Solana has been bleeding versus the market. So if we do top to top on this one, then top to top, and then you look here for that secondary top, which is right there, which makes sense now. And then you look at this next one, which is, where is that catastrophic double top that moved the markets and stuff? We come down here and you look at that and you don't see it right there, because guess what? There it is right there. But we had to stretch out because it took us another 2 or 3 weeks before we got to that level. Now let's talk about that secondary pump right there. Where's that? That's right here, which is right here, secondary pump. Then we've got this kind of final sort of test down here, which is right there. Then we had another catastrophic dump taking us down into this range. And guess what? That puts us right there. That literally puts us at the bottom, just using, and all I'm doing is I'm just playing around here. Okay. I'm just using a line to tell you where I think things are. And basically, you know, I've been trying this for days, right? I've been trying to figure out and catch the bottom. And I think that we're finally at that bottom. I think that that makes the most sense. Now, the reason that it makes sense, first of all, number one, the chart, the flow, the global liquidity tells me that we're going to have this big move. Okay. That move has not happened, and that will happen, but it has not yet. Now, why do I think that we're at this spot? Well, let's go over here and let's look at the chart. We're in a descending triangle pattern. We're in a descending wedge, I guess we should say. We hit the bottom over here. We haven't made it back up here, which means that that's the recovery. That's the recovery starting right there. So what I think we're going to see is a recovery, and then we're going to see a little dip and a retest, and then we're going to have that breakout, and we're going to start making our way back up from there. Now, why is that the case? Well, not only do we have that, we got this right here, we got this right here, and we got this right here. The RSI is certainly down. Now, let's also look at the structure. We've got to have that breakout. So again, I think that we're in the spot right now where we're ready for that next move. What will it take in order for that to happen? That is the question. And I want to say it's very, very simple. China is going to have to blink. It is my belief right now that the United States is not going to blink. Okay. When it comes down to it, the United States is primed right now to hold out for as long as it takes for the tariffs to play themselves out. Now, why do I say that? First of all, let me say this. The Trump administration lies to you constantly. It doesn't mean that they don't give you a lot of truth, sometimes uncomfortable truth, but they also like to use hyperbole. Now, hyperbole is what's called a lie in politics. So they're just using bluff and bluster and stuff like that. They tariffed 60 nations, and what they said is that 50 have already come to the table. Well, where are they, right? And if if they're trying to say, well, you know, we're trying to do it slow, then they didn't come to the table. So they're just manipulating you. And the reason that they're manipulating you is because of this. Because this happened. Trump said he doesn't want stocks to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine. Now, what he said ultimately was that it caught him by surprise that the markets reacted the way that they did to his tariffs. that he's upset because he thought that they would hold a little bit more. That's what ended up happening. And people, it turns out, didn't want to hold. Now, Scott Bessent said something a little bit deeper to that, saying that, we really just, we expected more from the investors. The investors, they're nervous. They're nervous. They don't know that we're not going to be the first to blink. So, but we didn't blink so far, and we haven't blinked so far. And by the way, you don't have to like Donald Trump to understand that we need to support the president no matter what, because what he's doing is trying to fix a broken system in our economy. So hopefully something good comes of that. Okay. Here, he said that he is not intentionally engineering the ongoing stock market sell-off, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. So basically what he's saying is, like, I don't, it wasn't my intent. I'm not trying to screw everybody, but there's a reason that I have to do this. Okay. So if anything else, he's probably let down that his friends are selling off on him. You know what I mean? So just consider that when you're considering what's happening here. And remember, what's happening right now is something that we've desperately needed for a long time, and nobody's had the courage to do anything about it. And Donald Trump is the guy who has the courage, or has had the courage so far, to do what needed to be done, to fight for you, the American citizen. Everybody else is not really fighting for you. Okay. They might be well, let me rephrase that. Everybody's fighting for you, I'm sure, in their own way, but some of these people are playing checkers on a chessboard. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand what needs to be done. And I'm not saying that Donald Trump gets it entirely either. I'm just saying that I like his plan a whole lot better than I like everybody else's plan. I am furious that he's not pumped my bags yet, but I understand. Do you know what I mean? I understand. So hopefully we'll see something good happen and something good come of all of this. Now, Bitcoin ETF, I'm about to show you. God damn. Here it is. 4,000 Bitcoin were sold off. 326 million, one of the biggest outflows in a long time. The markets are not reacting well. Ethereum, surprisingly, just 3 million. Ethereum's still up billions so far. So, maybe it's a good time to buy Ethereum now. You know what I mean? It wasn't then, but it is now. Crypto market RSIs on the 24. Everything is in a buy zone. Guys, look, I'm telling you right now, when you see this, when the charts look like this is your accumulation zone. This is where you buy. Okay. Again, fear and greed index is down right now. RSIs are down right now. This is where you buy. You buy here and things go crazy. Now, you don't buy fart coin. Fart coin's way up here. You don't buy that one. You buy the stuff that's down in this range, right? You buy the stuff that's coming down. You find things that you like. Zoom in a little bit. Find things that you like. Arrow, great protocol. RSI, cooked. RSI on the 1 week is 4.49. This thing is dead in the water right now, but it's a great project. It's a lending protocol. This is one of those future. This is Aerodrome. This is one of those big ones. So guess what? I imagine massive move coming for Aerodrome over the next week or two. But again, you just kind of zoom around and you can look at tons of cryptos and figure out, find low RSIs, find all this kind of stuff, and just buy some and hold on to it. Cross your fingers that it's going to go absolutely crazy. Some like Arrow, I think is going to go crazy. Why do I think Arrow is going to go crazy? Well, remember over here, I gave it to you not that long ago that Arrow was one of those cryptos that I think is going to have that massive move. This is one of my, not Bitcoin diamonds, but Ondo, Arrow, Crow, Conflux, Fetch, HBAR. Those were the ones that I said, those are my, 5 or 6 different special ones that I think they're going to have really significant runs in this next market. These are the new up and comers. Fetch is your AI marketplace. Conflux is a Chinese blockchain. Crow, you know what Crow is, crypto.com. It's number 2 in the United States now, number 2 in the world in trade volume. Ondo Finance, all of these things are runners, in my opinion. So Arrow just happens to be one of them. So if you get an opportunity to buy it, especially on this kind of dump, I mean, look, here's what I'll say. Not that long ago, it was kicking out at $2.30. It is down 90%. Like right now, are you fucking kidding me? This is the buy. Look, this is the buy opportunity right now that you've been looking for. Okay, this is one of them. I'm not going to say that it's but this is one of those big, absolute crazy buy opportunities that I think is going to absolutely break out. This is one of those projects that's in that ecosystem. Guys, buy yourself some Arrow. All I'm saying, just because of the RSI, because of everything the way it is, I would get some Arrow right now. My prediction is this thing is going to have a strong ass bounce. Let's remove the previous right here, and let's just say, where is it going to go after it bounces? If we did indeed find the bottom, then the next move is, and it always works, and it works both ways, right? Where does it go? The next move is to the 0.5. Where is the 0.5? 0.5 is currently at $1.32. We are currently trading right now at 31 cents. Like, this is a 4x. This is an easy 4x. I'm telling you right now. By the way, don't agree with me just because I'm saying it. I'm using hyperbole. I'm not currently holding anything more than $50 worth of Arrow, by the way, just to be clear here. And I bought it this morning on weeks. But it's an easy, to me, it looks like an easy 4x. Okay. That to me looks like it's absolutely going to send, rip through here, maybe even come up here to 5x. Then it will probably do what I said it will do, which is come down to the 236. Then it will come back down in this range, and then boom, that's where the breakout happens. So, I think that as long as the markets are agreeable to it, and as long as that capital flow comes back into the market, this thing will be at a huge market cap in short order. And as a matter of fact, let's go to Coin Market Cap, and let's look at Arrow right now. Aerodrome Finance, 253 million market cap. This was the market cap right here. Let's go back to 1 year. This thing was at a 1.5 billion market cap not that long ago. What's not to like? You know what I mean? Like, the rest of the market is capitulating. The money has come out. Everybody's resetting themselves, blah, 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 blah. But the money will come back in. And when it does, this thing's going to do it and run it back again. So, what are you waiting for? You know what I mean? If you have capital on the side, if you don't have capital on the side, good luck. But if you have capital on the side, then that is going to be a good play. So no one will know. I don't know what's going on with that one. Let's see. Oh, nothing. By the way, remember, we did a video on No One Will Know back here when we first got it down here at the bottom. Guess what? All-time high, March 28th. So if you listened, if you held, I hope you took your profits up at the top because you just got a banger of a run. I really hope that you did. Also, just to be clear here, I think it's going to do it again. It's about to, I think it's about to reverse one more time. There's some stuff going on in the background. I'm not really sure exactly how this plays out. I'm not on their team. I'm not partnered with them, but I got a feeling that something is about to happen. I got some inside sources that are telling me something might happen. LFGO and Pepe. And by the way, when they tell me something's about to happen, it generally happens. So, we'll see what we'll see ultimately. Rhythm, not moving. I don't even know if it's got any trade volume, to be fair, like $2 in trade volume. I don't love this project. You know what I mean? I did a video and I like the concept and the idea. As a matter of fact, let me show you. Oh shit, I reset my computer. I may not have it here. I was gonna say I've got Rhythm on my computer. Oh well. Anyway, I got Rhythm on my computer for music. So basically what it is it's a music app. So you can play whatever you want, which is cool. It's like Spotify. I mean, basically, it's like Spotify for crypto. So that's going to be kind of neat. SWP is down, but let's be fair here. It had a nice little reversal and a bounce off of this range. If it bounces off of this range and it goes strong, then I would expect it to be back at 1.2 cents in very, very short order if the markets will allow it. I mean, you need Solana to make a move. Like, it really needs that move. But I mean, again, 1.2 cents is not out of the equation. A breakout above, and then the next thing you know, you're going to be testing an all-time high, and it's going to be busting out to 10 million or something like that. But had a nice little recovery over the last few hours off of some from some sell-off. By the way, I was one of the people selling off because, again, I got to pay bills. I pulled out $300. So, but look at this. I sold. It's up. Was it 8%? It's up 8% since I sold. So, and I'm only selling like a little tranche. It's just a little bit each time, just in case I need a few bucks. So, there you go. I think that SWP probably in a prime position for a nice little breakout. So I would suggest stocking up if you haven't already. API 3 still down. I'm looking for another explosive move, by the way, on API 3. Just like everything else, it's been kind of eaten up by the markets, but wasn't that long ago. It was at $1.50, was even at the same time when Arrow was at $2. It was at $2.70. So currently trading at 71 right now. So that's about a 4x. That's not as aggressive as Arrow. You have to come back out a long way, by the way, to find the top over here, which was actually at $8.50. So, it's a nice little 10-20x to get there. And again, with the global liquidity flowing into the market, I do think that API 3 is primed for another one. And because of that, I don't have the beginning because I'm using the MEXC perpetual futures contract. I do think that there's a breakout coming. It's still in that channel. It broke to the top. Let's close that out. It broke to the top. If you just look at it from a simple standpoint, broke to the top, came back down. It's coming back down to the bottom. Could still come down here to 50 cents. But again, it may not because of the way that the market's moving right now. We might see this might be the farthest down, but also boom, 50 cents, and then a move back up here to $1.13 or something like that. It's going to have to break out. It's going to have to break out a long way to start to establish. But I do think ultimately this is a product of the market being cooked right now, and that the ultimate result here is going to be that, I think API 3 is a $100 token. So I just get the sense and the feeling that this thing is going to just absolutely rip. Again, this is one of those head turners. It's a new protocol. As a matter of fact, I have a video comparing Chainlink to API 3, or I had Grok do it, and I'm going to come out with a video explaining the difference between API 3 and Chainlink, and it is vastly superior. So we'll see what happens with that. But Hiss down, Volt down, Trump down, Gummy down, Sato down, Coinstick down, Beano down, Pump It down. Everything is down right now. Money is still coming out of the markets. We haven't found that. I don't know that we found the bottom yet. I would like to think that we have, but I don't know. Again, every time we bounce at the bottom, could that be the end? Is this the spot where I said we're going to go? Yes. Is that the spot where I said this is worst case scenario? Yes. Are we in the worst case scenario? Actually, it's not. My worst case scenario for you was 60,000, but I said that it's my opinion that 74,000 is going to be our floor. So I do think, make sure you hit the like button, by the way. I do think that we're going to get a nice little and significant bounce from here. So that's, looks like we're at the bottom. Okay. So, there we go. That's it. All right. So along with what we're doing here, most of the time I'm doing news and stuff like that. I'm going to work on this. This feed does not feel like I'm not, something is providing interference. I'm on Wi-Fi, by the way. So that's probably what it is. But I can't seem to hold, there's something running interference somewhere. And I've got multiple router extenders and everything. I need somebody in Chicago who can come over and wire my house the right way. How about that? One of you guys. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I'll buy you a beer. Anyway, that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm not sure how the day is going to go. I really am not sure how the day is going to go. Okay. Fias underwhelmed at Paris blockchain. Devi underwhelmed at Paris blockchain. However, they made significant strides towards their future. As a business model, this could not have gone better for them because now they're generating serious revenue. So from a business standpoint, this was a massive move. From a, hey, bro, let's buy some crypto move, that was not nearly as big. But again, over the next couple of days, as everything starts to roll out in this partnership, you're going to see people who are investors from Delubak and places like that, and French, and you're going to see people start to flood into DevE over the next few days as this ecosystem starts to, kind of develop and make its way through. So, guys, look, and again, I'm not partnered with them anymore. I'm not partnered with anybody. And I could use, by the way, I could use some sponsors. I could use some videos. So if you know anybody who's looking for something like that, let me know. Otherwise, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you again